For our nonprofit of the week, we are spotlighting Heroes Behind the Line. This organization helps provide mental health resources for first responders and military personnel. So founder and director Travis Browning is here with us to tell us more about that and why this is so important. Travis, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
I appreciate y'all having us on here today.
Yeah.
So.
Travis, let's talk a little bit about what the organization does behind the line.
Sure. So we started back in 2018. We're a nonprofit organization that deals with anything mental health related when it comes to military personnel and first responders. The big thing was I'm a first responder as well, and I'm also a full-time law enforcement officer. And we started noticing that you know, as a veteran, if I had some issues, I could easily call the VA healthcare system and get help, and it was great. But as a first responder and the friends that I worked with, they couldn't. You know, and so yeah, you've got insurance and things of that nature, but does your insurance help with the mental health side? You know, a lot of them don't. We found out, and so that's kind of where we got started and said we got to do something out here. So that's where we are now. So.
Explain to me, earlier you're saying like the normal average person may experience a few traumatic events throughout their life, but a police officer, a first responder, so many more than that.
Yeah, so you know, an everyday average person, they say statistically they have 3 to 4 traumatic events in a lifetime, whereas first responders deal with 800 plus in a lifetime, and so you know our bodies aren't really made to handle that kind of trauma. You know, so first responders are seeing the worst of the worst. You know, some of the worst times that anybody deals with, we're seeing it day in and day out, nonstop, 12-hour, 16-hour shifts. Ambulances are on 24-hour shifts. And, you know, all mixed in with not eating healthy, lack of sleep, you know, and home problems that we got to face and kids and everything else. So it gets to compounding. And when it does, you know, what do you do at that point?
Yeah, I suspect it's easy to say, gee, I'm just not going to take this home with me. But you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
There's no magic light switch a lot of times, you know. It's not like, hey, I'm at work, and then we'll turn it off when I get back home. And so a lot of it's going to transfer over to your home lifestyle. And the biggest thing is, you know, first responders as a whole, unfortunately, has a huge, you know, divorce rate, you know, because just of everything. So if I just had to go deal with the worst call in, you know, a lifetime, and then I got to go home and eat dinner with the wife and kids, you know, it's hard to say, hey, I'm not going to think about any of those things I just experienced the last 12 hours I was working.
That's before you even get to the hours and the times that you're on call and leaving, you know, when you got to leave.
Absolutely. So.
Is receiving mental health taboo in this career industry?
So I started out at 18 years old working for the prison system, the county jails, and then moved up from there. I'm a police officer, a fireman, an EMT, so I kind of done all of it. And so I kind of see all aspects of it. So the biggest thing was, especially in the police world, is if you say, hey, I have a problem, that means he might be a liability, so we don't want to, you know, have that out there, so then you lose your job. So now that's adding an extra stress onto getting that mental health that you may need. And so the biggest thing is we need to start understanding that it's okay to have mental health problems. Let's get you taken care of long before you ever get to having an issue, you know. And if we have early intervention, just like we talk about anything else medically, why don't we have early intervention on mental health? So that's kind of where we're here to say it's okay to not be okay. I know that's a cliche thing to say, but it's true. It's fine to have some problems. We all do. There's nobody in the room that can say, I've never had a problem in my entire life, because they'd probably be lying to you. So let's find out, hey, what can we do to help you guys and make you feel better and get back to that normal? So.
Not having a mental health problem sounds like the exception, not the rule, but with all the stress you're under. All right, so talk about the services that you're providing.
So we provide free 100%, right? 100% free counseling, whether it be for the mental health side, marital counseling, substance abuse issues. We do EMDR therapy, art therapy. There's all these different programs and stuff that we have, and it's all 100% free. And so we have resources outside the state if there's inpatient type stuff that needs to happen. But a lot of it we can do. The great thing, you know, I hate to say COVID was kind of nice, but what COVID did help with mental health was telehealth, right? So it's not laying on a proverbial couch and talking about your feelings and things of that nature, but we can telehealth with you, and you can be sitting at work, you know, in a quiet space or whatever, and get what you need to get out. And the biggest thing is I was joking earlier about counselors. Sometimes counselors like dating. You know, sometimes things don't work out, and that's fine. But you go to the next one and it's great. And so we've all been there. And so we want to make sure we're able to provide culturally competent counselors to handle the specific traumas that first responders and veterans are going to have. Because I know in my journey, when I first started reaching out for, some mental health support, they sent me to somebody and I'm looking around the walls and I didn't see anything about the military in this guy's office. And so I'm like, well, how is he going to understand the issues that I went through if he was never in the military? And so we want to have that connection. And so, because it's easier for me as a first responder to talk to another first responder because they understand where I'm coming from. And so everybody that we have on staff, and I say staff, that we help with, we vet and have in our organization, we're all either first responders, they were in the military, or they're in the military and first responder family. Yeah. So, and that's the biggest thing, is making sure we get the right people with the right people. So
I want to brag about your t-shirt.
Absolutely.
Tell us about some of the stuff you brought in.
So yeah, so like I said, we don't get any kind of federal funding or state funding. It's all off donations from people that we, run across and stuff that we sell. So on our website, we sell our t-shirts. This is our Honor the Fallen t-shirts made by Relentless Defender. We sell those for a donation because this is exactly how we pay for everything that we do for free. On top of the t-shirts we have freeze-dried candy that our good friends at Black Dog Coffee & Co. make for us. And so I was joking earlier about the great thing about freeze-dried candy is when you eat it, you don't have to worry about calories because the freeze-drying takes it right out for you.
Freezes those calories right out.
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know if that's true or not, but we're going to say it does.
Those statements have not been verified.
No, absolutely not. But and then also we do coffee because I love coffee. Everybody knows that if you know me. But the coffee guy deal kind of came from, the coffee pot. You got a pot of coffee on at the fire station. That's where the guys hang out all day long. They come in, they share their stories, and that is a form of peer support. So we love sending coffee to places to be able to go out there and say, hey, look, y'all just sit down, turn the coffee pot on. Let's talk about some of these problems. Let's get that help. Because me and you can, nobody says you have to go to a counselor, but just me and you having those conversations about, hey, are you okay? Is there anything I can do to help? And then kind of working through some of these issues and getting them off our chest is a huge overcoming to help with. So, yeah.
What is your website for people?
So, www.heroesbehindtheline.org. Social media, we're all over just as Heroes Behind the Line. We're trying to get into the TikTok business. My wife does that full time. Sometimes, she does a lot of that. And so we've seen that, it's a lot of fun to have some stories and videos. But we also have a podcast that we do. It's Be the Hero podcast. And if there's any first responders out there or people that know, kind of in this area and would love to come on, we'd love to have you as a guest because we like to be able to share stories and ways that we deal with our stresses, whether it's, hey, I go fishing or, hey, I crochet, whatever it is you do, there's so many options out there to be able to get help and be okay. So,
Travis, wonderful. Thank you for all you do. Be sure to help these guys. Go shop online and get yourself one of these cool t-shirts.
Absolutely.
Or some calorie-free freeze-dried candy.